Actually, earlier this year, I was in India, and this farmer told me, a female farmer, she said, your business is very different than our business. And told her, well, yes, my business is to know your business and help your business, right? Um,
Well, and look, I think a lot of folks listening to this podcast are, again, superficially aware of some of the really interesting innovations that are happening in and around food production, agriculture, and supply. But I think a lot of us get caught up in things like, containerized local farming or vertical farming or robotics for disease control, right? And I think we maybe miss some of the more fundamental ecosystem innovation that can exist. I want to use that statement as a lead in to ask you to tell us, what are you doing at Evergreen? What's the one-liner and what's the impact that you hope to achieve?
yeah, sure. I mean, the one-liner is we bring climate smart technologies to rural farmers in India. But what we're looking to achieve is really improving livelihoods, incomes, efficiency of smallholder farmers in a commercial way. Meaning, what we do is we identify solutions based on this on the ground farmers' needs, which we, by the way, just published a report last week. We do this annually about their needs. Based on that, we go and we source solutions, both locally and internationally. We source startups that we believe can address those challenges. And following that survey I mentioned. And so once we identify the high potential solutions, we take them through a validation adaptation process. Starting, especially if it's an international company, we'll start with a small scale validation where we take a lot of the risk for the company. So we deploy our resources to test the technology, see that it works in the conditions of the Indian market with the smallholders. And once we do a round and find that's successful and we're seeing what we're expecting to see, we will take that to a larger scale validation, multiple crops, multiple cropping systems, multiple contexts, can work across multiple states as well. And once we've validated at a larger scale, we will move to more pre-commercial and commercial type activities. So then we're starting to adapt the business model, understanding the price points, the market, how the market differs, where we expect the demand to be highest, and so on. So we basically develop a business strategy with the company. And all this validation adaptation process is sort of something that we cater. We develop the expertise, the network, the on the ground, capabilities. And so the companies that come out of this process, we know are valuable to smallholder farmers. We know are affordable for smallholder farmers, even if in some cases we create financial mechanisms to make the credit accessible.
To help, yeah.
But still, within the context, we once had actually earlier this year, I was in India, and this farmer told me, a female farmer, she said, your business is very different than our business. And told her, well, yes, my business is to know your business and help your business, right?
Yep.
So I mean, and that's how I see it. There, even the subsistence farmers, smaller farmers that aren't as commercial, we see them as businesses. We see them as we see that they are entrepreneurial on the ground, and so it's about giving them the tools and access to those to thrive.
Well, and so there's a lot of parallels there with how I think about, organizations that operate in a startup ecosystem, like an accelerator, like Alchemist, right? What are we doing was really aggregating resources, network, tools, et cetera, to help entrepreneurs. And I see you doing that for the smallholder farmers.